The owners of Guangdong Kaisa Plaza were suppressed for defending their rights. Residents in a Shanghai community clashed heavily with security guards and police officers. As China's birth rate plummeted, over 10,000 kindergartens and primary schools closed last year. The average monthly salary in 16 Chinese provinces has dropped to 2,000 yuan. Netizens, the actual situation is even worse. CCP officials are afraid of public opinion and controversy, with 70% suffering from cyberphobia. It's all covered in today's China Truths. The owners of Guangdong Kaisa Plaza were suppressed for defending their rights. On June 30th, the owners of Kaisa City Plaza in Qingyuan, Guangdong, got involved in a contentious dispute as they attempted to defend their rights in the face of the developer's inability to deliver the promised completed building. What was once a collection of exquisite residences is now in ruins. These owners sought justice by approaching the Qingyuan government and the Kaisa Sales Center, respectively. However, their attempts were met with a heavy-handed response from law enforcement, resulting in their forceful removal from the premises. Several owners were apprehended at the scene and detained for their actions. Throughout the eviction process, heartbreaking scenes unfolded. Homeowners knelt and wept, some endured violent altercations with the police, and others were apprehended by multiple officers. According to reports, a portion of the affected owners endured police interrogations lasting until the early hours of the night, only to be released afterward. Later that day, another group of disgruntled owners went to Kaisa's sales department to demand information about the matter, but they, too, were violently suppressed by the police. Initially, the contractual handover date for buildings 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9 of Kaisa was set for August 25th of the previous year. However, on August 10th, the owner received a notice from Qingyuan Deluan Real Estate stating that the delivery would be postponed due to the impact of the epidemic. Despite multiple subsequent delays, the building has yet to be handed over. Residents in a Shanghai community clashed heavily with security guards and police officers. From the evening of June 30th to July 3rd, chants of defend our homeland, reverberated as the residents of Heitang Sinuan community in Qingpu District, Shanghai, embarked on consecutive days of protest against the community's neighborhood committee for their failure to convene a meeting. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, authorities mobilized specialized police forces in an attempt to suppress the unrest. Displaying their anger, residents dismantled the protective barriers at the community gate and aggressively confronted security personnel and law enforcement officers, requesting that the construction workers leave their property immediately. A chorus of residents resounded with fervent cries of "Get out," directed at the community gate as they voiced concerns about the illegality of blocking fire exits and forcefully intruding into their living space. Amidst the protest, some residents endured forceful shoves and kicks, resulting in their unfortunate falls. Unfortunately, several elderly and young individuals suffered varying degrees of injury, with 4 or 5 individuals subsequently taken into police custody. A 90-year-old resident named Wu Shenyan sustained injuries that necessitated hospitalization for treatment. Residents also reported that a woman received a 7-day administrative detention sentence. A resident disclosed that the discord between the residents of Haitang Xinyuan community and the property company had been ongoing since 2019, stemming from their disagreement regarding the proposed replacement of the community's exterior wall. The tensions between the two parties have persisted until this year. Concurrently, some residents took to social media platforms to disclose that the exterior wall renovation project for Haitang Xinyuan community incurred an estimated cost of 20 million yuan, about $2.76 million. This extensive undertaking was prompted by the inadequacy of the developer's house exterior insulation wall technology, which presented latent risks of detachment. Consequently, the government provided financial assistance to facilitate the rectification efforts initiated by the developer. What was originally conceived as a project aimed at benefiting the community has now taken a troubling turn, posing potential harm to its residents. As China's birth rate plummeted, over 10,000 kindergartens and primary schools closed last year. According to the 2022 National Statistical Bulletin on Educational Development released by the Ministry of Education of China, the country witnessed a decline in the birth rate, resulting in a decline of nearly 1.78 million kids in kindergartens and 478,000 students in primary schools, representing a decrease of 3.7% and 0.4%, respectively. Regarding primary education, there were 149,100 ordinary primary schools nationwide, marking a decrease of 5,162 or 3.35% compared to the previous year. The report highlights that in 2022, China had 289,200 kindergartens, which was a decrease of 5,610 or 1.9% compared to the previous year. This decline comes as China enters an era of negative population growth and a decrease in newborns, with the impact felt primarily in preschool education. As per calculations, the total number of children enrolled in kindergartens across the country is expected to reach 48.1826 million in 2020. However, in 2021, this figure is anticipated to decrease to 48.0521 million, reflecting a decline of 130,600 compared to the previous year. This decline signifies a significant change in the trend of increasing numbers of children in kindergartens witnessed in previous years. Xia Jing, director of the China Preschool Education Research Association, commented on these developments, stating, "In fact, the first wave of kindergarten closures has already begun." He further noted that the present year should be considered the most favorable, and challenges are anticipated to intensify in the future. According to recent findings, there has been a noticeable trend observed among kindergarten leaders, as highlighted by a social media dialogue group. Reports indicate that many kindergartens have been engaged in the process of transferring furniture such as tables, chairs, and benches. Furthermore, it has been suggested that as the population continues to concentrate in urban areas in the foreseeable future, the most crucial kindergartens will not be situated in first- and second-tier cities like Beijing, Shanghai, and Jinan. Instead, they will be predominantly found in fourth- and fifth-tier cities. A detailed analysis by Beijing News reveals a swift and substantial transformation within China's preschool education landscape in just a few years. This transformation can be primarily attributed to the significant decline in the birth population in recent years, which has experienced a reduction of approximately half. Consequently, the diminishing number of newborns naturally leads to a decreased demand for kindergarten enrollment. The average monthly salary in 16 Chinese provinces has dropped to 2,000 yuan. Netizens, the actual situation is even worse. On July 5, the Ministry of Social Affairs of China made an official announcement revealing that the average monthly salary in 16 provinces across the country has fallen below 2,000 yuan, including Shaanxi, Inner Mongolia, Liaoning, Jilin, Heilongjiang, Jiangxi, Hunan, Guangxi, Hainan, Guizhou, Yunnan, Tibet, Gansu, Qinghai, Ningxia, and Xinjiang. Conversely, 15 provinces have set their minimum monthly salary at 2,000 yuan or higher. These provinces are Shanghai, Shenzhen, Beijing, Guangdong, Jiangsu, Zhejiang, Hebei, Tianjin, Shaanxi, Shandong, Sichuan, Chongqing, Anhui, Fujian, Hubei, and Hunan. Among these, Shanghai boasts the highest minimum monthly salary in the country at 2,690 yuan, while the lowest can be found in Liaoning province with only 1,420 yuan. On the same day, the official website of the CCP's Ministry of Human Resources and Social Security released the minimum wage standards for 31 provinces and municipalities directly under the central government. Nonetheless, mainland Chinese netizens have taken to Weibo, a popular social media platform, to express that their actual monthly salaries fall short of the official standards. For instance, in Hunan, the minimum monthly salary is categorized into 3 tiers: 1,930 yuan, 1,742 yuan, and 1,550 yuan. A netizen from Hunan commented, the basic salary for ordinary people working in pharmacies is merely 1,200 yuan. Shaanxi has established 3 tiers for its minimum monthly salary: 1,980 yuan, 1,880 yuan, and 1,780 yuan. A netizen residing in Shaanxi shared their perspective, stating, "The state-owned enterprise only offers 1,200 yuan to Taiyuan Boiler Group. Are we not in Shaanxi?" Recently, a video surfaced online featuring a 60-year-old migrant worker who expressed his struggles in finding employment, earning a livelihood, and even affording basic meals. He lamented, "I can't even make 20 or 30 yuan a day," and added, "I don't have money for food, and I can't cover my living expenses." According to this migrant worker, he finds it exceedingly challenging to earn 600 yuan per month, significantly below the officially stipulated minimum monthly salary. As early as 2020, Li Keqiang, the former premier of the Communist Party of China, acknowledged during the 2 sessions press conference that approximately 600 million individuals in China have a monthly income of around 1,000 yuan. Li Keqiang's statement ignited intense discussions both domestically and internationally. After enduring 3 years of the COVID-19 pandemic's impact, China's economy has experienced a sharp decline, leading to numerous business closures and a persistently rising unemployment rate. In comparison to the minimum monthly wage, the unemployment situation in China is even more alarming. In May of this year, the official youth unemployment rate in China reached a staggering 20.8%, marking a record high. Moreover, with tens of millions of college students graduating and entering the job market this year, they now confront the harsh reality of graduation equating to unemployment. Recently, the phenomenon of becoming a full-time child has gained popularity in China. Many young individuals who are either unemployed or unable to secure a job find themselves dependent on their parents' pensions for financial support. In light of these developments, Ms. Huang, a mainland citizen, recently shared her thoughts with NTD TV, stating, "The employment pressure is undeniably high at present. College students struggle to find employment, and even those with postgraduate or doctoral degrees end up working in food delivery services. The employment situation as a whole is grave." Ms. Jie, another mainland citizen, noted that the employment prospects for college students without influential connections in China have been less than optimistic. She emphasized that the past 3 years of the pandemic, coupled with the withdrawal of foreign investments, have resulted in fewer job opportunities. As a result, some of her classmates have remained unemployed for several years after graduating. The issue of employment directly poses a threat to the stability of the Chinese Communist Party regime. The CCP's top leaders have consistently prioritized employment stabilization, yet the harsh reality of employment difficulties remains unchanged. In their efforts to downplay China's employment problems and societal tensions, officials have sought to manipulate public perception. Nevertheless, an article published by the CCP's media outlet, People's Daily Online, on July 5 claimed that the employment situation in the country is generally stable. However, this article faced severe backlash and was met with criticism in the comment section of Weibo. Netizens derisively remarked, "People's Daily has mastered the art of self-deception and deceiving others. Maintaining a certain rate of decline can also be considered stability, stable layoffs. Is the article telling the truth? Are the 250 million flexible employment workers also generally stable?" A statement made by a CCP official regarding the definition of employment has drawn attention similar to the aforementioned People's Daily Online article. Fu Linghui, the spokesperson for the National Bureau of Statistics of the CCP, declared during a press conference on June 15 that working for 1 hour a week counts as employment. This particular statement swiftly ignited intense discussions and debates in public discourse. Some netizens responded with irony, commenting, "It appears that the unemployment rate can be manipulated by the statistics department." Another netizen remarked, "Working for 1 hour a week is labeled as not being unemployed, as long as you don't register as unemployed, and even if you lack urban household registration, you won't be considered unemployed." 1 hour of overtime per week isn't recognized as overtime, but merely 1 hour of work is deemed employment. Alas, when it comes to people's livelihood, it falls short. CCP officials are afraid of public opinion and controversy, with 70% suffering from cyberphobia. On July 3, the official accounts of Beijing Daily and Chang'an Street Governor reported the findings of a survey carried out years ago by the People's Tribune magazine, which indicated that 70% of officials at the time suffered from cyberphobia. The fundamental cause of this fear is concerns about the potential exposure of professional shortcomings and the subsequent impact on their prospects. Notably, those most concerned about the consequences are the propaganda cadres in charge of influencing public sentiment and the ruling party's highest-ranking members. According to the report, the internet era and the growth of mobile internet technologies have only exacerbated these fears, expanding their reach across various levels of government. Leaders at all levels, from high-ranking officials to employees at the grassroots, are now diligently monitoring public opinion, deeply concerned about the repercussions of negative public sentiment, public scrutiny, controversy, and accountability. Officials increasingly choose to remain silent to protect themselves from the risks of public exposure, resulting in a more stable and low-profile existence. The report provides illustrative examples of officials who actively avoid the limelight. When faced with public events, some officials adopt a less is more approach, believing that speaking less is preferable to speaking more, while others lack confidence in their ability to withstand scrutiny and live in perpetual fear of being exposed as if carrying a metaphorical burden on their backs. Certain officials exhibited a sluggish response, displaying a regrettable lack of awareness as controversy brewed within public opinion. Valuable time was squandered fruitlessly while relevant parties remained oblivious to the unfolding situation. In an attempt to calm the raging tide of public opinion, multiple officials resorted to evasive tactics. In the hope that the passage of time would bring down the intensity of events, they chose to overlook the issue entirely, refusing to take any decisive action or release a formal statement. As a result, small issues were unnecessarily prolonged, while more serious issues were postponed permanently. Amidst this confusion, some individuals found themselves thrust into the spotlight yet remained uncertain regarding crucial information. Contradictions between pre- and post-data, as well as differences in statements given by different departments, instead of dispelling doubts, transformed the explanation into a complex and contradictory narrative. A small group of people opted to be unpleasant. Standing before microphones, their expressions tensed and their postures rigid, they engaged in soliloquies, disregarding any semblance of interaction or meaningful communication. They simply recited prepared scripts, disregarding the concerns of the public. Some people, on the other hand, were aware of their failure to perform their duties or mismanagement of affairs, yet they refused to acknowledge their shortcomings, correct their mistakes, or ask for forgiveness. Instead, they proactively concealed the truth, even resorting to spreading fake information to confuse the people. Furthermore, some people choose the path of least resistance. They addressed only particular areas of public concern, avoiding debates on truly important topics. When such issues were raised, they were quickly dismissed or briefly discussed, while they reserved their rhetoric for small or insignificant topics, adopting grandiose phrases devoid of meaningful value. The aforementioned CCP officials' response to online public opinion is very similar to a recent food safety incident that drew considerable criticism on the internet. Following the calling a mouse a duck incident, numerous netizens mocked it as exemplifying the CCP authorities' exclusive focus on maintaining stability. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.